Cathie Wood, Tesla. It's a really fiery combination. And the queen of Tesla is out again with a new target price, $4,600. You can see it on the screen right now for 2026. This is the expected value they got on their model. It can go, according to the model, all the way to $5,800. And the bear case is at $2,900. We're talking, of course, about 2026. But based on the expected value, Cathie Wood and ARK Invest think Tesla should be worth $5 trillion in 2026. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because this is a real treat. Now, first of all, Cathie Wood, she's been dragged through the mud lately. She's not been doing so well. That doesn't mean that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Now, look, they just updated the target price for 4,600. Now, previously, the existing target price for them was 3,000. It's a big jump. You got to remember where they started. So $3,000 was already 3 times more than what the current price is, and they just raised it to 4,600. Now, look, you also got to look at the bull case and the bear case, but essentially, Cathie Wood is projecting a $5 trillion valuation within the next 4 years. Now, it's going to be easy to laugh at her. It's kind of this reverse Midas lady. Everything she touches turns the opposite of gold, whatever that is. But, she's actually on point here, and I'll explain why, even though it sounds crazy. First of all, you got to remember she's not the only one who's giving out these valuations. Ron Barron, he's a billionaire. What's the difference between Ron Barron and Warren Buffett? Both billionaires, both made a lot of money. And there's a billionaire sitting across the desk basically saying he agrees with Cathie Wood for the valuation part, at least. So Ron Barron has a very similar valuation for Tesla. He hasn't sold any shares, and it doesn't seem like he's going to. And she's actually talking into a really bad situation because, look, the thing with the Tesla stock in general, that this is by definition the most analyzed stock on the market. Everyone and their dad, they got something to say about Tesla stock. It's beyond analyzed. And look, she's taking a shot here. She's taking a risk talking about this because I'm assuming she knows there's going to be a lot of hate coming her way. But look, let's talk about some facts. Why I think she's not off here. I think she might be right with 4,600 in 4 years. Now, I think today the company is probably fair value at 1,500. So it still seems a little bit far, right? If I'm thinking 1,500 today, how could I agree with what she's saying here? Well, look at the data. Look at the fundamentals. Not stories, not visions, not what might or might not happen. I'm not going to mention any robotaxis. I'm not going to mention any energy business. Just the current business that's actually producing revenue. Okay. Best margins in the business? Check. Cult following? Check. This is literally like the iPhone. They have a cult brand. There's not a lot of cult brands out there. So best margins, cult brand, plenty of demand. People are waiting more than 6 months for a Tesla. They have other alternatives. They're waiting for a Tesla for a reason. We got rising oil prices. That's just driving the industry up in general, macroeconomically. Not to mention the fact that Tesla has the best software in the business. Nobody comes close. Ask anybody who switched from a Tesla to a Honda Pilot, for example. And I know just the guy. Shout out to my partner, Justin. Talk about the battery life, the engineering, the infrastructure, best in business, supercharger network. Plus, the company doesn't spend money on advertisements. It gets free PR daily. It has no legacy auto division that it has to drag around like a ball and chains, slowing its development. You can make a case that even though the competition is coming, it doesn't really matter. Back in 2008, when the Apple was coming up and the iPhone was coming up, people were saying, well, look, there's going to be a lot of competition for the iPhone. There's going to be other smartphones who do similar stuff with similar hardware, and they're going to be much less expensive. So Apple is going to take a beating. Well, that hasn't happened. Apple is as best as it's ever been. And as long as you have a cult following into a high quality product and you know how to sell value, you're always going to have a market. I mean, the competition doesn't scare me. I mean, the Android didn't kill iPhone. In fact, in the US, quite the opposite. So I'm thinking of it in very straightforward terms. If I look at the quality of management here, I see something very simple. I see a guy in Elon Musk who took Tesla 5 years ago and generated a 10x on revenues. 5 years ago, the company was generating $5 billion per year. 5 years later, it's generating 55 in just 5 years. Now, I would not bet against these kind of numbers, especially given the fact that Tesla, despite making 1/10 of the volume of a Toyota, for example, has better margins already. Not to mention the fact that I'm not even talking about the margins of Ford and GM. I'm talking about Toyota, the queen, the king, whatever you want to define Toyota. So Toyota makes 10 million cars a year. Their margins are not as good as Tesla with one. I mean, imagine adding in stuff we haven't even discussed, like robotaxi and energy. Maybe even licensing out self-driving software. Maybe even licensing out supercharger network. I mean, there's a lot of income streams that can be actually included in these models, which I'm not even looking at. So whether you want to make fun of Cathie or not, that's on you. I'm not going to tell you to do that or not to do that. But as far as Tesla goes, number one, she was right. She wasn't wrong. And number two, it's going to be a very, very dangerous bet to bet against Elon Musk. It's just my opinion. Of course, you got to do your own research. Find that for yourself. Talk to a professional. This isn't financial advice. This is just me conversating with you about my opinions about what some lady on the internet said about Tesla. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Head on over right now to Tipranks TV. The link is going to be below. Check out the video there. Comment, hang out with us. We're building a phenomenal community over there. Come say hello. Would love to see you there. See you Thursday.